book lovers, it is G-Swizz here, and I'm here today with my quarter 2 TBR. I used to make these videos pretty consistently last year. I just did not end up getting around to making a quarter 1 TBR this year, and I think that's because that when you're in January, you're constantly making TBR lists for the year. I got caught up in that, but I didn't end up making a plan for January to March. However, I decided that I was going to make a TBR for books that I want to get to, specifically between April to June. Some of the books that I'm going to mention on this list today are going to be supplied to me by book boxes. I'm very much looking forward to getting to them and eventually prioritizing them. And then some of these are just books that I've just wanted to get to for a while. And then I think to myself, what better time of year to get to them than now? So I guess without further ado, I'm going to get straight into this TBR and share those books with you. I want to reread this book before the finale to this series comes out in July. And the book that I'm referring to is These Holo Vows by Lexi Ryan. I have the Bookish Book Special Edition, which has this really cool dust jacket. I don't know, it just looks absolutely awesome. But if you're wondering, the original cover looks like this. I loved this book so much, and I've really just been tempted to reread it for the longest time. However, I've been putting it off because I reckon that the reread will have its full effect when I read both this book and its finale back to back. I honestly cannot wait for what the finale is going to have in store for us. I really hope that we have more Finn in the finale, because as much as he was intriguing in the first book, I just want more of him. Cannot wait to continue on with the series and let you guys know how I feel about the second book. However, I do want to experience the first book in all of its glory first, because this book was really good. I could not stop reading it. I think I just binge read it in a day. It just had that addicting quality. I'm really hoping that the sequel also has that addicting quality, but I just want to focus on the reread of this book, so that is what I'm prioritizing this season in order to get me super pumped for the second half of this series. The next book I want to bring up that I do want to read within this quarter is not necessarily this book in particular, but I do just want to continue reading this author because I read 3 books from this author, or really this author duo, last month. I fell in love with her writing. I at least want to read one more of Christina Lauren's books. The next book that I have on my TBR from them is The Soulmate Equation, and I love the concept of this novel so much because the concept has to do with a dating app that gives you your match based on your DNA, and the protagonist ends up getting matched with the person who created the app. I mean, Christina Lauren really impressed me when I read The Unhoneymooners and Roomies. I'm just hoping that this story is just gonna be one of my new favorites. And I'm not gonna lie, out of all the concepts that they've had for their books, at the moment on my TBR, this one intrigues me the most. So I cannot wait to read The Soulmate Equation and let you guys know how I feel about it. And the next book that I bring up on my TBR is also a romance novel that I do want to get to, and this is by an author that I have not yet read. However, I've been interested in reading their books, specifically one of their previous series that is pretty much very popular on TikTok at the moment. However, this book I believe is traditionally published. It's just very easy to grab when I was at Target one day, so I decided to pick up The Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy. I am very much looking forward to reading this, but I have no idea what it's about. All I know is that a lot of people keep on raving about Elle Kennedy and just rave about how awesome their romance novels are. They wrote the Off Campus series, and I've been hearing about that series for years here on BookTube. Now it is booming once again, except on TikTok. I'm just kind of very curious to try out Elle Kennedy's writing. Had no experience with it whatsoever. Very much looking forward to picking it up and letting you guys know how I feel about it and whether I would recommend Elle Kennedy for myself, considering that a lot of people are currently. The worst thing about pre-filming a video, especially a TBR video, is that when you pre-film a TBR video and then your reading speed eventually catches up, those books are no longer to be read. Long story short, I ended up filming that TBR video either like a week and a half or maybe 2 weeks ago from the point that I'm filming this video right now. For some reason, at the very beginning of April, I just decided to fly through a bunch of the books that I had on my original TBR. I'll be cutting those parts out of the video. Instead, I will be adding in a few more titles. So if you see this outfit change, that is the reason why. Starting off, I'll be talking about the Dark Olympus series by Katie Roberts. When I was originally filming this video, I talked about the Wicked Villains series, and sometime after filming that video, video, I pretty much just started binge reading the Wicked Villain series. As I'm filming this video, I've got 2 more books in that series left. I'm pretty sure I'll devour them soon. However, in this time specifically, I do want to get to the Dark Olympus series, which consists of Neon Gods, Electric Idol, and then on June 1st we have Wicked Beauty. I really want to read these, especially because I'm past halfway, like majority of the way through the Wicked Villain series, so I know what to expect from Katie Robert at this point. However, as I'm speaking this video right now, I've literally had to put the Wicked Villains series down because at book 4 things got heavy. I just need to take a break, but you know, when I'm ready to get back into the dark romance slash smut kind of books, then yeah, I'll be picking up Katie Robert. But I mostly actually want to read this because I want to experience Katie Robert's mythological reimaginings through these stories, considering that I've seen them now do like Disney characters and villains. The next book I want to bring up in this quarterly TBR is a book that I put on my This TBR Will Self-Destruct video for this year, and I do want to read it. It's just I want to read it before I have to consider unholing it. Obviously it's a self-destructing TBR, I gotta get onto it. I'm not gonna lie, I have enjoyed some books that I've put on that TBR, so I'm really hoping I'm gonna enjoy A Girl Like That. This cover, absolutely pretty. The spine is absolutely pretty. These were the reasons why I bought it. I bought it for superficial reasons. I don't actually know what this book is about. I probably have only heard one booktuber talk about this in the years that I've been on booktube, and they ended up enjoying it. So I want to finally give it a chance and kind of go into it blindly, because it's gotten to the point where I just know nothing at the moment. I may as well know nothing going into it. Next of all, I want to continue on with the Lux series. I don't know at the time that I'm posting this video whether I finished the Lux series or not, but I do know that it is high on my priority list at the moment. The book that I'm holding up here is Shadows, which is Damon's brother's backstory before Obsidian happens. This is kind of like a prequel. I want to read this before I continue on with the rest of the series to kind of get more context and to understand Dawson's backstory. And also I'm very much looking forward to reading it because I'm not gonna lie, I have been craving something Jennifer L. Armentrout-like for some time, and I was enjoying the Blood and Ash series, and I missed the Harbinger trilogy. Even though it's almost been a year since I've read that series, I need to cling on to something else, and I reckon that the Lux series might just do it for me. And the next book that I finally want to get to on my quarterly TBR is Autumn's Tithe by Hannah Parker. I have definitely missed out on this one. Like, everybody was talking about it when it first came out, and they were pretty much raving about it. They said that it was really good. I feel like it wasn't necessarily a major anticipated release, but then all of a sudden when people started reading it, they were like, oh, that's actually really good. I want to be surprised as well, because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't actually anticipating this release at all, but then obviously when I received my Bookish Box special edition, I got more and more excited about it because it looks pretty. If the Bookish Box are going to continue making editions of the series, then I at least want to love this book before I end up purchasing more of it, you know? Anyway, back to past G-Swizz. Alright, now that I've gotten all those physical books out of the way, I'm going to talk about the books that are going to be supplied to me by Bookish subscription services that I plan to read within this quarter. Starting off with The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I've put this on many TBRs. A good reason why I've not picked it up is because it's not on my physical TBR. Even though I have the audiobook version of it, I have less motivation to pick it up knowing that it's not on my physical TBR. However, this being said, I got a dispatch notification about this edition today, so I'm very much looking forward to receiving it. I believe that it is the Fairy Loot's adult book pick for March, considering the hints. Very much looking forward to receiving my copy of The Atlas 6 and letting you guys know how I feel about the story, considering that it's been getting a lot of hype. Speaking of hype, another book that I'm waiting on from a Bookish subscription service that I cannot wait to read is Gallant by Victoria Schwab. Now, the Bookish subscription service that I'm receiving my copy from is the Bookish Box. I love the Bookish Box special edition, and this is probably a very unpopular opinion. Their edition is probably my favorite out of all of the editions that I've seen so far. I think that Monolime did an amazing job with the design. I cannot wait to receive it. I believe that this is going to be in my April box, and I'm very much looking forward to reading it. Not necessarily because it's hyped or it's going to be received in one of my boxes. I actually was not excited for Gallant to begin with, and then all of a sudden I saw the reviews from reviewers I trust, and they are saying that it's awesome. And now I'm starting to believe that it's probably going to be just as good as Addie LaRue. Maybe not. Maybe it's not going to be on that level. However, I've got to put that kind of trust in Victoria Schwab, considering that she did write Addie LaRue. I think I have little faith when it comes to the young adult works of Victoria Schwab. However, now I'm seeing a lot of positive reviews, and that's kind of how I know that I might just enjoy this book. Another book that I'm going to be receiving in one of my monthly Bookish boxes is Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised that they chose this for their March pick when I believe that this book came out in like January or February. I don't know, maybe in Australia and maybe in the UK it came out earlier, but I'm very much looking forward to receiving my Bookish Box special edition. I've been hearing great things about Only a Monster monster. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been really patient with the idea of like the bookish box giving it to us for our March pick because I've just wanted to read it sooner. I'm not gonna lie, I've also considered purchasing the Fairy Loot edition secondhand because I love the Fairy Loot edition as well. However, I will be receiving a copy of this book. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to receiving this edition. And the cool thing is I believe that Vanessa Len is an Australian author as well. So I guess I will be supporting an Australian author by also receiving this book. I just cannot wait. And the final book that I want to mention on my quarterly TBR that I will definitely be receiving a bookish box special edition of. However, I might also be receiving it as a Fairy Loot special edition as well. If I'm right about the guess, that is very exciting. If not, then nothing was spoiled, I guess. The book that I'm referring to is Book of Night by Holly Black. I have wanted to read another Holly Black book for a while, and I reckon after the Cruel Prince trilogy came out, we are all in the mood for something new. I think that this is going to be really exciting for all of us because I believe that this is Holly Black's first adult novel that they've written. You know what? I reckon after the Cruel Prince, I've just wanted to see them go deeper and darker, and I'm just hoping that this book delivers on another level that we've never seen from Holly Black. I think I'll be either receiving 1 copy or 2 copies of this book, but regardless, I'm excited to receive this book, period. So I guess that's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. If you happen to stay till the end of the video, leave me the hands up emoji because we're all excited about these books that we're going to either get through or we're going to read together. I'm excited about them. Are you too? Leave me the emoji down below. If you happen to enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. Join the amazing community of book lovers. And also I have social medias, @GSwizzleBooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. And finally, I'm at TikTok. I'm @GSwizzle on TikTok if you want to follow me there for some bookish content. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.